my black and white scarf, my black and white scarf, my black and white scarf, my black and white. Yeah, it's black and white. We're just black and white. It's my black and white. It's my black and white scarf.
Hello, and you're very welcome to the Turn End podcast. It's season 5, episode 28. Well, it's Dundalk in 7th heaven as they come home licking their lips from Limerick from a 7-0 victory. Look, that's the way to take on your bogey team. To go through this match, we are joined by Gally tonight.
Good evening. Licking your lips from Limerick. I like that, Chris. And that is a nice wee limerick. So now we started, boys. Now we started. We are 24 hours. We're 24 hours late for the podcast, but look, it's fine.
This is what happens now. We've gone cuckoo at this hour as well, an hour earlier than we normally are. To Gally, we were coming into this match and we were thinking, right, we got to do one over Treaty. These have been our bogey side all season. You know, we've let points slip against this. We can't let one team away. You know, being able to get one over us all season. But that's a victory in style and a real statement of temp between now and the end of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, how long have we been talking about Dundalk getting 5th gear or 4th gear or 3rd gear, whatever gear I was mentioning. I think it was mentioned top gear at one stage during the season. But yeah, I mean, Treaty were poor. I mean, there's no getting out of it. But I mean, at the end of the day, to score 7 goals in any professional or semi-professional sport, soccer, would be anything, you know, it's a massive statement. And like we say, how many times we've spoken about Treaty this year, and they've been our banana skin, I suppose, and akin to like Bray a couple of years ago, I keep mentioning. But we were, I mean, the crazy thing is we probably should have scored 2 more at least. It could have been a real write-off. No, look, it was, but I mean, it could have got to double figures. We could have been talking FA Cup semi-final at loan level, you know, a couple of seasons ago. And it's not even, to be honest with you, it's not even the goals. It's how we scored it. The build-up play was excellent. I know, look, we got away with 1 or 2 of them, but I noticed even if you take just the first 2 goals in their own camp, the ball directly into the box, even the own goal from Owen Kenny, everything directly into the box. We're going right into the danger zone. Keepers and centre-backs do not like the ball in there. Hogan's gotten in twice. The own goal has, you know, it's zipped across the box. What he's doing trying to clear it, I have absolutely no idea, because it was only going to go one way. But again, we're just getting into areas where you can score, and we're not relying on, you know, free kicks or screamers from 18 yards or anything like that. So, yeah, look, a real solid. If we just take the first couple of goals, a real statement of intent early on from us. We were relentless.
Yeah, it's just when I was looking back at the game, I thought it seemed to be obviously something that Ken and Kieran had seen, maybe a threat to Treaty, because like when you cut it in, like you say, first 2 goals are all crosses from the right. Ruby's goals across in the keeper puts in. The own goal from Evan O'Connor is a cross from Kenny. Obviously, the corner is a cross in. Vaughan's is another cross in from Darrell then as well. Yeah. So obviously getting the ball out into wide positions and whipping it in is something that they obviously targeted for that match, and it paid off dividends.
Yeah, because we've probably been guilty of early in the season. Look, it's not that we haven't crossed the ball. We just they don't seem to have the kind of. We get a nice 1-2 touch pass, maybe 18 yards from goal, 20 yards from goal, we walk it wide, and there's never anything on the end of it. We kind of either have a dodgy cross or we're a little bit slow in the final third from strikers, but everything just seems to click. And so it's, I was going to say I feel sorry for you. You kind of have to. I mean, nobody likes going out and getting bet. And like, their defending was, it was beyond bad. Like, I mean, obviously we have to be there to take advantage of it, but it's not what you'd expect. I don't know if there was a moment where they were kept in the dressing room, like akin to Stevie O'Donnell a couple of years ago, they were kept in for 3 or 4 hours, but they should have been. You know, I think even the headed goal from Vinnie Leonard there in the second half is poor defending. He's out-jumped 2 boys. The keeper's badly spotted. It looks like he was in slow motion. But there's a lot of stuff they need to work on. But look, they've had a bad night at the office. They probably won't get a result like that again. We'll probably replay this the next Friday and it's 8-0 to somebody. But they probably won't get another result like that. It's a culmination of us doing really well. The final third for me, our build-up play outside the box was probably the best it's been. But they were poor as well. But that's not to take away from us. I mean, you know, we were just relentless. We really were. I mean, I think if even isolated maybe even 2 or 3 chances that we've had early on. Hogan's a little chip in the first half that it's kind of a half chance. It's probably would have went wide, but the keeper saved it. If he drills it into the bottom corner, it's probably another goal. You know, so even at 2 or 3-0, we were out of sight. I mean, there was never. I think they had maybe a bit of head tennis and maybe 15, 16 minutes into the game, Treaty. And after that, it was really nothing. Then Minogue, a bit of a catch in the second half. And I don't mean to sound, it was a catch. It's not even a save. He just catches the ball and sends it up the field. They were really poor, but we were what we were expecting from the Dundalk. Relentless in the final third, good all over the park, wide ball, like you said, Chris. Crosses in, like it's not that we don't play proper football, but you can't beat. There's no better sight in football getting the ball in midfield, walking out to the wing, or crossing and getting a goal. It is a bit old school, but Stephen Kenny made a career off it. We've Darren Mean and them boys 43 assists in the season. That's whoever they go in is fine, but I just thought we were top class. We really were. It's not like we haven't played like that. We've been relentless in games and just not put teams to the sword. And I think last night, everything just came to. And look, you can nitpick at different things, but I mean, we've really been nitpicking. I mean, we really would be. I think we were absolutely top class. No real kind of danger. I think they were sluggish looking. I thought Treaty was really poor compared to what we've seen earlier in the season. If somebody might think they were sluggish in Oriel, we were probably poor, but I thought they were really half-arsed last night. They really did. I thought they just weren't at the races at all. Yeah,
there seemed to be I'd say like a hunger really looking back at it. Like if you take Darrell's first goal, he's in the right position. It comes back off the stanchion back, but he's in that place to get it. And the second goal, he's the one getting in at that front post, making sure he wins it and gets it in as well. But you're kind of looking, like I say, first one's Dervin cross in, next one's O'Keefe back in. So these getting the ball out to wide positions and whipping it into a danger area. It was a tactic that they targeted and clearly worked in as well. Like I say, you're 2-0 up, probably cruising a little. Treaty come back in with 1 or 2 chances. I think and it was bright enough to get to 1 or 2 balls kind of coming into the box. I think then your Ruby goal, it's not something that Corey Chambers will want to see back for certain. He was probably better off not touching it at all, because the touchy does change the whole flight of the ball and straight in. But I'm sure Ruby's counting them anyway. But it was just kind of, that seemed to be a real sucker punch at 3-0 for them. To get it, and then, as I said, 4-0 then at half time, and Evan O'Connor putting the ball in from Owen Kenny's cross this time.
When you like that's when you know it's not going to be.
That's cross. 4-0.
And it's just like, I mean, you're right. Like, you're taking note of it. You've Darrell on the 2. You've a Ruby been excellent as well. I mean, the build-up play from a Ruby, Kenny, even Conor O'Keefe. I think is that the second goal? The cross comes in from Conor O'Keefe.
Yeah, it's O'Keefe. Yeah.
So even he's getting 4. But when you know it's not going to be your night, is that probably own goal? I mean, he's kind of running backwards, and he gets caught on his own feet. He can see it. I mean, where that ball falls, the keeper hasn't moved. It's a defender's absolutely.
Darrell's waiting at the back as well, isn't he?
Wait. I mean, if he misses it, it's in anyway. Like, I don't know if it's going towards. I can't remember I haven't seen the replay, but I can't remember if it's going towards goal anyway. But it's not what you wanted. If you're going back towards your goal and it just falls right at your feet, you haven't got time to move your feet. The only place that ball, the only thing it will do is bounce off you into the net. You've seen it a million times. But when you know it's not going to be your night. And like, they offer up nothing in the second half. Right? I know we're getting a bit ahead here, but even that half-time team talk hasn't done anything with Treaty, because they've really offered nothing in the second half. But then you can't take it away from the Dundalk either. They were, from start to finish, they were just relentless.
Yeah, I think at halftime, that was probably our biggest halftime lead since, like you mentioned it before, that semi-final FAI Cup victory over Athlone. So you're thinking, could you be into record-breaking territory from that? But the gas normally comes off a touch, but eventually it was given to Vinnie Leonard on the socials. The FAI seemed to want to give it to Owen Kenny somewhat, but it's another header from a corner from Vinnie Leonard, obviously someone who was getting a bit of attention this week.
Too much attention.
Yeah, but great to see him just in the right place and getting another goal as well, for his own confidence.
Yeah, and I mean, and you want that. I think I don't know, it was early in the season. I don't know when it was, but we kind of talk about Brian Garter and Andy Boyle, the goals he used to get from centre back, which we haven't really seen over the years, the last couple of seasons. Mayoa could probably, 1 or 2 goals from him because of his stature and his height and his, like, I mean, he can out jump anybody. Vinnie Leonard, the spring in his jump is fantastic. I mean, you forget how young he is. We talk about it every week, but again, he's out jumped. I think it's the second time this season he's out jumped 2 defenders for a goal. And to be scoring League of Ireland goals at your club that you've come up through, and yeah, look, it's and unfortunately for us, he's been mentioned during the week with moves. But I mean, look, it's nothing we didn't expect. Like a player like that, if you hang on to him, you get him back on loan. If he does sign someone, you're doing well. But I think it's only a matter of time before he moves somewhere. There's a lot of talk of Celtic and things like that. And look, the man's made to go and play professional football. And and look, whether he be in a panic or not, I don't think he'd be any mad panic. He seems to be a level-headed fella. But yeah, look, it's something we warned ourselves about, because that young squad now have the real bit between their teeth. And we kind of worried that if we don't go up with them, they'll go up with someone. They'll play Premier Division with someone. So we're hoping it will be us. And look, touch wood, it will be us. Hopefully knocking at the door in a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's look. We said it just before we come on. We said July, August, start of September. July and August are going to be key months. If you can get through that without any major hiccups, you're almost there. You've got one hand on it, in my opinion, and we definitely have a hand, a foot, and a pair of socks on it. But we are there. It's a couple of more games, but I mean, we're going to take some stopping. We are going to take some stopping, and it takes a lot for me to say that. I don't like the mince. No,
I absolutely.
I'm here in a couple of weeks. I'm biting back. What a podcast hammer me. But we're in touching distance, and we just need to keep that. We can afford. When you go out last night, you score 7. I don't even think this team, they'll forget about it. Some of the young fellas will go, out the weekend, blah blah, 7, whatever it is. But Monday morning, training back, whatever they train, it's another game. Game's gone, we go again, and that's the way the boys are
carried in, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, look, off the field, there's been a change at Oriel Park this week as well, which you might touch on, but. I don't think Kieran and Ken will let them that affect them. There'll be tunnel vision. It's next game, next kind of, what have we got, 6-7 weeks, and it's just flat out now to get to the end of the season, and hopefully maybe with a game or two to spare, we might be over the line with a bit of luck.
I suppose having that sort of a commanding lead, even at half time and stuff, allows you to kind of go and start bleeding in some of these lads, the likes of Norman Garbutt. Obviously you want to get more time into Norman's legs. Owen Vaughan has looked to impress every time he's come on, in particular in the substitute appearances. Parashef, Ebe, Wardy even getting in off the bench kind of allows us to do it. But the thing, like I say, maybe it's just the Treaty just were kind of heavily defeated at that stage. But it was great to see we were still able to keep that momentum up. And that kind of hard graph from Rowan again. He lays the ball off to Horgan, gets himself back into the box. I'm not sure where it comes off him, if it's the shoulder or the back of his head or something.
It looks like the crown of his head. It could be. I'd have to see it again. It could be shoulder. He's built like somebody. Like the ball that easily bounce off that shoulder and go into over the keeper. But it looks like just the crown of his head. But I mean, he'll take it all day. He'll say he meant it. And like even when you just mentioned there, we forgot like. He started the ball off at Horgan's first goal, I think. Is it the first goal? He started the round off as well. So he started that build up off to Ruby, out to Kenny, and then he's found himself in the box for first goal. So that seemed to be a theme of the night. And, maybe it's happened before. Maybe they've done it once or twice, but it hasn't really been kind of highlighted probably as much as last night's game, where players are starting to move, getting themselves into the box, wanting that goal. No matter what the score is, you want to get yourself in the score sheet as a striker. And like it's come off. Look, that bit of luck. You earn a bit of luck like that when you're playing so well and you're distributing the ball. And I don't think he's on the field that long as well. So he's come on. He's kind of got stay struck into the action. And again, like you said, the substitutes, they haven't hindered the game. They've added to it, if anything. And that's what you want. That's we're trying to make it. We can only make football sound really simple, but it's not. I mean, look, you want your subs to go on and do a job. Yeah. But sometimes we've been guilty of maybe putting subs on for the sake of it. And I think last night was just. We seem to have a team this year where things don't really get worse when you make subs. We're not worried about the subs coming on. We know what's in the locker. We know what they have. We know we can bring to the game, and that's just a credit to the boys and the work they've done all season with them.
Yeah, and I think the mid-season acquisitions have really strengthened that squad and probably made our bench even stronger. The lads do, as well, with the likes of Norman Garvin that coming back from injury, has really helped. And you think there's Norman and Dean Ebe linking up, for the penalty concession from Treaty at the end. It's a lovely way to ball over. Yeah. Dean kind of chases it down. It's a definite penalty for me. Ball's played wide, and the keeper just completely takes Dean out. Any doubt that Darrell's going to take that one? He's had one or two penalty misses before, but also the hat trick's on the line, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can go into the misses, but then I think there's certain games that come along and they're rare. when you have a player whatever being on a hat trick, if it's 2-0, it might be different. But I would say, you'd be confident that he'd be the man to take the penalty. There's not a chance. I mean, you would have had to run off and knock him over to take that ball off. And there's nobody in their right mind. Now, look, you wouldn't begrudge it either if there's a penalty taker there and it's set in stone. That's the way it is. But I think the night he was having, I mean, I think he's got 2 assists as well, has he? Could be more.
Tonight
as well. I think he's had a sensational game. You can't take anything away from him. But yeah, there was no doubt he was going to be looking for that. That's like a Darren Hogan of old, isn't it? Like getting in.
Yeah, it's his first ever hat trick too. Like,
oh, is it? I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
that's a mental stat considering the goals he would have scored under Kenny and even a Cork. But yeah, he's and that's what we've been looking for him, because he is that little bit. He is that cut above everybody else. Not everybody else, but I mean, for a first division outfit, he's that little gem. That you have. He's we've a few of them. We've Dean Ebby as well, is excellent. Vinnie Leonard, all these boys. Delvin again, probably mentioned him, again, influential. But because he hasn't scored a hat trick, another assist. And like even his he's had a free kick that he's kind of, I don't know if he just kind of half-arse kick. I think the kid was going to spill into the net the night that he was having. But again, look, when you don't mention even players like that, it shows you how good the rest of them have been. And there was no doubt he was going to take that penalty. Absolutely no doubt.
Yeah, like I say, when you've hit a hat trick, you've got 2 assists. It's all about that. I think it is post-match chat. Kieran mentioned he needs to maybe stop putting them all to the left, mind you. His last 3 are all to the one direction, so I'm sure keepers will be watching that.
Yeah.
But then again, you put it there, but can you save it? Is the other thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like a good penalty, just off of Ruud van Nistelrooy and things like that. Like, if you hit it far enough into the corner, keepers aren't saving it. So if you get it right, look, you definitely can improve on it a little bit. But yeah, he might want to watch. He might want to start maybe practice other parts of the net just to be on the safe side, because he'd be a marked man now for the next couple of weeks, which he would have been anyway. But after last night's performance, he'll be watching the Hawks.
Yeah. Gally, I'd be remiss of me not to say it to you here. We sat here, a month ago, and you said, I'll quote you, someone's going to take a hiding from us one day. We've come from a 4-1, a 6-1, and a 7-0 victory. We've done them all in the space of a month for you.
Yeah, and it's been building, and it's been, you can see it. Like, there's even been 1-0 games this year where you thought, God, we really should have scored 3 or 4 there. And and on the flip side, we haven't looked like we should have conceded many. There's been games where we've been poor, and you wouldn't argue shipping a goal, but because we've only scored 1, it would have been absolute riot. We would have been coming on here absolutely killing them on the podcast. But we've been due that for a while. I mean, I think we're just saying, was it 17, 18 goals in the last 3 matches? I mean,
17, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a frightening stat. I think were you saying least conceded, or one of the least conceded in the league?
No, we've conceded the least, scored the most, and the biggest goal difference in the league. Like, so it's this.
When you produce stats like that, you win league trophies. I mean, that's the game. Concede less goals and score more. It's a simple game. Whatever goes on in between the 2 goals is whatever tactics that the managers apply. But the aim of the game is to concede less goals than the opposition and score more. If you don't concede in the game, you're guaranteed to draw. So we've been close to probably a few more draws than we would have liked with the 1-0 wins. But I mean, we were due that. That's been coming for a long time. Probably since, I'd say maybe early May, we've really kind of got going in early May and playing a little bit of better football. Not that we played bad at any major stage. Like, even the night we were bet, it's not that we were bad. It was just one of those nights. It was always going to happen at some stage. But we were due that. I mean, that team, they're too relentless. They're too good going forward in the final third not to produce wins like that. You won't get them on a regular basis. He says that after 17 goals in 3 matches. But, I mean, that's what we've been looking for. It's not that we've been looking for a 7-0, but we knew there was just something about that team that if they get it between them, they get it right. And, look, you need a team to have a dodgy night as well. They were going to absolutely pummel someone. And unfortunately, Treaty just found themselves at the end of it. And, look, as did the opposition last week. And, look, who knows what comes next week. But that night, last night, I think it was just a flawless, going forward, the boys didn't have much to do at the back, but from kind of halfway line up, we were absolutely flawless. I mean, boys are taxed. Like a Ruby last night was like his work rate was unbelievable. Look, and it's not like we haven't praised him before, but his play off the ball, running, creating change, he was dragging defenders away to get Hogan in. I thought he was excellent as well. Again, we've probably seen not half of what we want from him in minutes wise, but he's an option there that we have ready to go. Owen Kenny alongside him.
Another assist from Owen tonight.
Might not be. That's why
that's
why these performances should be there more often, because these lads are in the side.
Yeah, I think the real healthy thing about the whole thing is, it's 12 goals in our favour on the goal difference as well over Cove. And we've extended that. Obviously, they only drew 2-2 with UCD, so we've extended that lead to 8. With 8 games remaining, you'd think that sort of a goal difference is going to be, if you can keep ending half decent in that kind of realm, it could be worth an extra point as well. You know, and I'm just saying, it's that last fixture still. I'm still worried about it. I'll be worried about it right up to the point where it's not
when the fixtures come out, because we've done a pre-season one obviously, and that was the team we all mentioned. It was actually it jumped out almost more than the midway point, or like even any weekend where there's a cup match, or you know, the weekends were marked off. That was always going to be the one that God, if you thought it was going to go down to something, that's the one. You know, you'd like to
last
get it
game
done.
of the season.
I mean, look, if you were guaranteed to win it, you'd love it to go to the last game of the season. If you could guarantee, there's no like Cork 2014. I was just going, you know, that's the kind of level we're looking at.
Yeah, but you're even thinking, you know, what was that, 1991, 1-0 down in Cork, and you know, you've got Tom McNulty scores the goal, and there's that famous picture of him coming back on the train, still in his kit. You know, you know, you're thinking it could form that sort of a thing. But if it's, I'm sure from Kieran and Ken's point of view, if it's something you can wrap up early, they'd love it. And you're going down that night. It's a trophy lift down in St. Coleman's Park. It'll really rub salt in the wounds.
I think we'd all have to go down that night, Chris.
Oh, we'll have to, pal. Yeah, I'll book that one off LOI TV, but edit out. But it's it's something I don't want it to come down to, because like I say, you're also thinking it's that night in Oriel. It was a special night as well. When we finally, you know, done it over.
That's your luck. It's, as a football fan, you're thinking of those kind of, look, we're not cup final, no cup finalists here. Obviously, we haven't had one. We badly missed the road trip, the annual road trip to Viva. But you know, if you could write a script, that's what you're looking for. The top 2 teams in the league, you'd think, last game of the season. Obviously, you know, you don't want to go down there and have a night now. You know, but I mean, that's, you know, if you could write it and you could win it, that's the one. You know, that's what you want. Because what a trip down it would be. Like, you know, a great wee facility to have, but at the same time, you don't really want to make that trip either. You know, you want it done. You want it kind of. Look, it'd still be a great day to go down, but you want it done. You know, the game before, maybe the game before that if you're lucky. But yeah, look, it's building along nicely. It's just bubbling along there like a nice wee soup.
It's probably I don't know if that's even a saying, but it is now.
It's a townism.
I suppose you're looking at it then as well. From Kieran's point of view, you're probably looking at Rowan Vaughan coming off the bench, scoring again. You've got, you know, Owen Kenny with another assist to Ruby, scoring again, Darryl scoring again. You probably have the likes of Norman Garbutt and Dean Ebbe linking up then for the 7th goal, which leads to the penalty. It's a headache. It's a good headache for us, you know, sitting here, but not as easy and straightforward for Kieran.
No, and it's his own fault. You know, he's produced a serious squad, and like I think we mentioned earlier, I think when like we kind of caught Rowan Vaughan come in and maybe, you know, he might add to it, but like again, he's another machine. I mean, I don't know, maybe the thinking was that 1 or 2 might go, maybe, and just maybe prepare for that, but they obviously haven't. But I think they're obviously happy enough to say, if they obviously the backup say, well, if they don't go, we're still okay to bring these players in, and like, they produce the goods, and he seems to be able to manage the squad rotation really well. I mean, look, I don't know how players' happiness is, but they're all getting minutes. I suppose obviously the young fellas aren't. I mean, Malloy not getting as much minutes as we would have liked, maybe. But I think the rotation of the game and the subs he makes, because it's not like he's making one sub here, one sub there. You know, we're getting them in 2s and 3s, so they're getting plenty of time. So you know, and they're winning games. It'd be different if they were getting half the time and not producing, and the boys aren't producing on the field. So you can't really argue with it. So they obviously, the system's right, the mentality's right. You know, they've obviously laid down the law very early. I mean, I highly doubt players came into that thinking, I'm going to start. They were obviously told us out the door, look, you're coming in here, you've got probably the biggest club in the country, and we're playing first division football where we shouldn't be. And we could be down here for 2 or 3 years. You know, we don't want that. We want to get back up. So let's try and drag us through that. And because the first, it should be called the tough division. The first division is, we alluded to it earlier, it's a tough league. It's physical. And it's not, the football is definitely better than it used to be, but it's a really tough league to get over, because everybody's capable on their day. It's like the championship in England. Everybody is capable of beating everybody. Now look,
well, I think if you Cove probably out of it. Like from Bray down, there's not a whole lot between a lot of those teams in the playoffs and in around there, and even just below as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, it goes to show they're all probably taking points off each other. And the fact like there's UCD going to Cove and coming out with a credible draw then as well. So I think that kind of reinforces your point on it there as well. But like I say, it's all right, I'm not backing you up. Just before we go into kind of talking about Kerry up next, you mentioned already a few changes in the backroom staff this week. Unfortunately, Liam Burns is no longer with us. 13 years, great servant, somebody who we know very, very well. Gentleman, real sorry to be missed around Oriel Park, and it's just a shame that he's not there. And you think about how bad everything went last year, and you had Burnsy and Guards kind of stood up and took over when we needed something or anything really at all. At that stage, we were looking for any sort of result or everything, and got a real credible 1-0 victory over Shamrock Rovers that day. And you're thinking maybe there's a chance for us still, and it seemed like the club was imploding left, right and centre, and Burnsy kind of hung in there and was the mainstay right the way through and into this year. And I think Kieran was kind of mentioning him after the match last night as well, just a remark on how important he's been for the club for the past while, player and backroom staff as well. So it's just a shame, Burnsy, that situation that he wasn't able to hang on at the club, wasn't it?
It's, I think that look, you don't see any staff going, but then there's staff that they're integral, they're built into the club. I mean, look, Burnsy's obviously joined Sean Connor, is that correct?
You would have come in under Sean Connor.
So you're talking 2009, 10, is it? So just after we got promoted. So and then he's gone to Bows, come back, but he's been there. He's played, he's captained, he's scored, he's been a warrior defending, he's coached at probably every age, he's been promotional officer. Like, he was missed at Dundalk for a long time, around the schools, around all that kind of stuff. And if you needed something in Dundalk, it was Liam Burns who dealt it. Look, I can't go into whatever's going on, but I don't know enough. We don't know. It's not ideal. I mean, to somebody like Liam leave the club, and look, Dane Massey's come in. Look, Dane Massey, another legend, but it's such a difficult one because Burnsy, everybody knew him. It was one of them. It's one of them, isn't it? It's not like he was just part of the staff and managers come and go and staff come and go. No matter what managers come in over the last couple of years, Liam Burns probably should have been the manager at one stage himself, and Brian Garland.
I don't think he ever wanted it.
No, he probably didn't want it, but he would have been. Probably got a raw deal. Could have been the manager at one stage, but look, it just didn't happen. And I just think, it doesn't sit well with me. You'd like to think he won't be able to work for long because he's football head to toe. I mean, look. And he's easy to talk. I remember getting deliveries during COVID from the shop, and he was delivering around the doors, jerseys, tops, hats, scarf, whatever he ordered. That wasn't like one-on-one. The other people delivering. It was just coming to me. But I mean, like,
you pay extra for that service.
Like, he was one delivering. I remember the kids coming to the door. Like, my kid at the time wouldn't have been massive Dundalk fans, but I remember introducing him to Liam at the door. Because they were trying to explain to him who he was, and it's just look. And if take nothing away from Dane Massey come in. Look, incredible, great. Look, we know Dane for the podcast. We had a great live show up at the end of a good one night, and we get him on again. But stuff like that doesn't sit well. It's not nice. We don't know the ins and outs, but I mean, look, it's not nice as a Dundalk fan and a League of Ireland fan that people like that not at your club anymore. It'd be different if you went to a different job. Obviously with Brian Garland there has gone to St. Pat's and things like that. But it's not. It doesn't sit well with me. It's not. And it takes a bit of the shine off the season thus far. And look, nothing is bigger than getting us that trophy. But it's been it hasn't taken away from the result obviously, but it's just a bit of a shitty one. Is probably the best way of putting it. I can't really put it better than that.
Yeah, most definitely. And we wish Burnsy well and whatever will be his next chapter. And you touched on it there then as well. I suppose Dane coming in, if you can bring in somebody that understands the club and gets the club really, that's probably the important thing, especially from Kieran's point of view, is to keep that sort of momentum and that understanding. Like, it's only when the club put up the posts and you're thinking you're listing off the amount of titles, cups, and everything else he won during his time as well as really important European campaigns. Like, for some young players walking up, he would have been in the team when they were probably underage and looking up to that first team. So it's really good for that continuity. And I suppose there's that great connection between Kieran and Dane as well from playing together.
Yeah, and I remember one of the things that stood out, we had him up in the end of McGill one night, and a few people there, and Jerry Cutter was sitting up the front of things and Yvonne and them, and I remember him talking about being left at the Europa League squad, and he basically, and it was just a one line. He basically, he considered himself, he was the left back he was Dundalk FC's left back, and that's what he was. I mean, there was nobody else that has come and gone since. I mean, you could argue Sean Cho would have been, but hasn't got the longevity of it. He's obviously gone to an awful setup over there in Brighton. God love him, but he was Dundalk's left back for the guts of a decade, and probably the best. I mean, some would probably argue me. I haven't seen a better one in my lifetime anyway. But I mean, but that's what you're bringing in. You're bringing in that kind of experience. You're bringing in that, like you say, another Dundalk legend. I mean, he's one of the greats. You're bringing him in, and he's young. I mean, he's still only probably 22, but ahead of him, he hasn't aged. He hasn't aged a single day. I had the pleasure of being coached by his father, Paul, at the transplant football for a while. Again, another gentleman, comes from football stock. It's just football, to the bone. And but yeah, look, it's on the flip side of Bonesy leaving. Look, it's great to see somebody like that coming in, and yeah, it's if he can produce on, like you said, he can produce on the field with himself and Duff would have done over a couple of years under Kenny, along with Ken Kieran as well. The only way is up, and we're not going to. It won't hinder us, if that makes sense. It's not going to, I'm not saying things will get better, but I'm just saying it'll stabilize everything.
Yeah, the continuity of it all. Yeah,
the Utd Bray and things like that. Yes, we've got a couple of badges, and yeah, looking forward to seeing him in action. And look, the crowd will love him as well, because he would have been heart and sleeve type of player.
Yeah. Maybe those youthful looks come from the new Nashers he got while playing it. I don't know when he cracked his touche off the cup in the dressing room that day. But it's coming into a really important time. We're back to another home game. There's not that many home games left in this season as well, so that's probably the most important thing. Kerry at home, Gally, it's definitely one of those that you're kind of right, just got to keep this momentum going. It's really, really important. You got to, there's nothing given in any fixture at all. There's nothing given in any teams you play. So you've got to be at that level again, like we've seen over the past 3 games, and continue that on. You're probably looking for a good home crowd to kind of push and get you over the line on that as well. But you're probably looking to continue on these good performances also. Yeah,
it's. What's going to be needed after that, if you take last night's match, what's going to be needed over the next couple of weeks is, like, I keep playing on the mental side of things. I don't know if it's the mental side of thing, but consistency is going to be key over the next few weeks. These lads are going to be, for instance, I'll give you an example. I'm in the Marshes the other day. All right, I'm going off on a tangent here, but these lads have come in probably in a season where the Dundalk are used to the success over the last couple of years, like Day and Massey, all these boys, but you see them in time being recognised, whereas you probably wouldn't have at the start of the season. So you've got that tangible link now of Dundalk, the young fellas, the players being around town, getting that buzz off everybody. The next couple of weeks I think are going to be vital, especially after last night, because people are going to be, the expectations are going to be raised a little bit. But I don't see, like, no matter what we talk about tonight, I just can't see, and I'm probably going to really regret this. What are we, 22 minutes past 10? But I don't see anything but us lifting this trophy. I really don't, because I don't see anybody.
You are doubling down tonight, pal.
But I just think it was that emphatic last night. And then you take last week's into account and the week before, and we've no cup. Not that many have around us. There's just something in the water there where that buzz is there. And,
of course, Kerry are still in the cup.
Kerry are not thinking for whatever reason.
This fixture, lads don't injure themselves because it's an important game against Sligo.
There just seems to be a buzz around town. Like, look, it never got to the point where it was doom and gloom, apart from we were almost out of business. But after that, there was this kind of buzz, the lift, Kilduff.
Just a minor thing there.
But what I mean is, there was that kind of block of 3-4 weeks where everything was just, this is absolute dire. And then since then, we've gradually just gone, whether Ali hold me hand up, I didn't agree with Kilduff that he got the job, because I thought he a bit inexperienced, but like, what do I know? But now we just got that gradual grain where we're going up and up and up. Like, even if we were to steady off now, we still win the league. that's how well we can play and that's how well we are. But I think we can go again. I think we might not get another 7-0, but I think we just got too much. And that's the joys of having that success at Premier Division, and we are the biggest club in the country. You know, we can sign a player that wants to come in, even if we are First Division. We can get these players and utilise them and get them in even through the youths and sign a calibre of player. Like, you know, you look at Ave Delvin, you know, Darryl Hogan, you know, we keep going on about them, but even Mayoa is probably one of the best signings we've made over the last couple of years, having them re-signed. Yeah. You know, so these boys are now getting recognised around town, a bit of a buzz. They want to play for that jersey. Not that they didn't, but there just seems to be an extra lift. You know, and over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have to get into this kind of run of, you know, it's ours. It's Dundalk's to lose. It has to be taken off them now, and I just don't see anybody grabbing at it. I really don't.
Yeah,
cut this now. Cut to the last game of the season, and we haven't won a game.
I wish I had more optimism. Yeah, I'm just always worried about just second guessing anything, and then it comes back to pitch, and I'm like, oh Jesus, why? Because like I say, it's funny just kind of looking at dates. You know, that 13th of September isn't actually that far away.
Yeah, that's no time.
That was our deadline that we were given last year. That this whole club could have been wound up, and you know, it's amazing that we still have a club and that we're still here and we're talking about chance of, you know, automatic promotion back into the Premier Division, hopefully, and into a better place and everything on that. Apologies to LOI Talk. He said we absolutely ruined his night last night and made him fall out of football. So apologies for that. But yeah, look, it's just super important for me. Like I say, I'm hoping the Kerry is got one eye maybe on an important and historic FAI Cup clash for them, which might
and that's massive. I mean, when you think of even Kerry, I know we're on a Kerry podcast, but even you think of it, that a League of Ireland and Irish football story, I think that's a massive. Like, we're all, I was going to say we're all Kerry supporters. But look, we're not really for this league, but I mean, like, if you're looking for an underdog to go and win it, like, you're talking, what are you talking? Like, you know, Bray back in the day. I was going to say Liam Buckley's Fingal, but they had a bit of money. St. Francis, that's the kind of level.
Yes, St. Francis turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at. But look,
it's also, looking at Kerry is also a template for the likes of Mayo FC and all these other potential clubs looking at a third division, a third tier, should I say, and seeing how do you organise yourself and how do you get in there and get up to speed on that. Like, if it doesn't look like they're going to finish bottom of the league this year, with Athlone will probably finish there. So that's some sort of progress for them, and you know, this historic run in the FAI Cup now is amazing for them then as well, and just shows the progress that they are making there as well. From ourselves, just I'd say I was getting a few messages during the week there as well that the old deliveries of this year's jersey was being delivered out and around, so thank you to everyone that was able to purchase those from us. It's something we love doing. Really good response from the retro jersey this year, so perhaps maybe when we come to do our next one, Gally, it might be something we look back into the old archives, and we'll pick something from another jersey maybe. Seem to be the way to go on that. Plans are in place, I suppose, Gally. Come the end of the season, we hope to have some sort of live show once again on that. We'll have details released closer to the time, but we'll say Mark Harland there in the background organising stuff with us there.
In his beautiful car. God,
it's beautiful car. Organising one or two things. So hopefully we'll be able to do something similar like we had last year as well. And thanks to Mark, as always, for that. Normally on a Saturday night, we try to just get in and out here as quick as we can on these ones. So we'll probably hold the pizza back maybe till Friday on.
We might ask when can we double up, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll double up unless
everybody's out.
Unless LOI Talk can make his way all the way to Dundalk for a pizza.
If they're not out, everybody's probably at Robbie Williams. So that's probably up in a wet Crow Park.
Yeah, could be. Well, look, if there's a way that LOI Talk is able to make his way to Dundalk, there is a pizza there for him in Tony's Pizzeria, but I'm not too sure. He's going to make it all the way to Limerick over for that one. But if he does, there's one there from ourselves. We may have ruined your night, but we'll make a weekend for the pizza. Thanks as always to Vinny and the lads in Tony's Pizzeria for their continued support of our Man of the Match competition as well. And of course, thanks to Donald Green and Dundalk Village, who's all over the front of this year's shirt as well. And thanks to Carl O'Connor in Player Fit as well for helping us with this year's jersey. Gally, I think that's about us, is it? Unless you have anything else.
I think so, Chris. I think we're in the final furlong now of the season. I think it's going to be. Well, we did hope we'd be sitting on a podcast talking like this, kind of middle to late August. That was the plan, and I think people be sitting home going, "This clown's talking about winning the league," but I mean, you kind of have to start thinking like that. I mean, you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but let's get in there.
I feel the next month is really, really crucial, though. It's like where you come out of this month, it will dictate what really happens in that. Because for me, you're only result or two. Like, you don't want it to be within 3 or even 3 points going into that last game, because then it's right the way down to the wire.
Yeah,
I'd love it to be wrapped up before that, but I'm just not counting any chickens or anything. But an 8-point lead, 12 points goal difference is nice as well. And we've got 8 games remaining. It's within our hands, I suppose, is the thing. But at the same time, I'm petrified of it all going. This is all clipped up, like you say, and thrown back at us, saying these lads were celebrating before ending even happened. So that's always my fear. Right, Gally, we go on to Friday night.
Yep.
We go again. That's the next most important thing, and I'm sure for Kieran and Ken, that is the most important thing. Like you say, they'll probably forget all about that result at the weekend. The next most important one is Kerry, and I'll focus on that. We'll be back as per usual at the end, post match, should I say, after that match. So until then, come on the town.
My black and white scarf, my black and white scarf, my black and white scarf, my black and white, yeah, it's black and white, we're just black and white, it's my black and white, it's my black and white scarf.